liberty in the fires of hope and prayer. With boundless faith in our destiny, we solemnly declare. Side by side we stand, islands of the blue Caribbean Sea, this our native land. We pledge our lives to thee. Here every creed and race find an equal place, and may God bless our nation. Here every creed and race find an equal place, and may God bless our nation.
Heavenly Father, we come before you at the start of this new day, giving thanks for life, for health, and the opportunity to serve through this station. We ask for your divine presence to guide us in all we do. Bless this broadcast, that it may be a source of inspiration, joy, and unity to all who tune in. Whether near or far, may our words uplift, our music heal, and our message bring light to those who need it most. We pray for our listeners, wherever they may be. Grant them strength for the day ahead, peace in their hearts, and success in all they put their hands to. Cover those traveling with your protection, and those at home with your comfort and provision. Lord, may everything we do bring honor to you and be a blessing to others. Guide our steps, bless our efforts, and let this station be a vessel of positivity and hope. In your name we pray. Amen.
Your voice, your soundtrack, your station. New Era TT Radio. Net Radio.
Everybody stand up, jump now.
In Mama Day, eating in Mama Day. Oh, no, no. And there we go. Darling. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, man. It's a bacchanal every time she come my way. Look at the tongue when you deep down there. Sweetness, yeah, apple, I won't try to. It's a carnival every time she touch down there. Tip at the tongue when you hit my brain. Give me one look and I just want this. But they say, take your time when you go down there. You go spend all your coin and end up in a day. But I don't pray, nah. I go take all my chances. I've been waiting so long, I want it night and day. Hey, my lady, give me a piece of that chup chup, darling. One piece of that chup chup, darling. So long you've been saving it, non-stop girl are craving it. I want some of that chup chup, darling. Sweetness when it rolling, rolling. Look back when it rolling, rolling. Things nice when it rolling, rolling. And I love how it feeling when it rolling, rolling. It bounce when it rolling, rolling. Can't stop you from rolling, rolling. Yeah. And then I look through the window. I see she step on the tiptoe. And when you know how the thing is going, she knows by the winter. But just with this over me, I've been begging on my knees. Want me spend my salary, baby. Granny say, yeah, boy, don't twist up your head down there. They go knock out your teeth and put your ass in bed. But I don't care, nah, cause I'm strong and I able. I know what I want, I need it right away.
just to start your day right.
When it rolling, it bounce when it rolling.
It bounce and it rolling. Hey everybody, good morning to you. How you doing? Good to have you here. It is your Era TT Radio. The pride, the joy of the Caribbean on this fine, good looking, but wet and rainy. You're drenched, you're soaking in the outside. Friday morning, we're glad to be in your company. Much thanks to the Heavenly Father for bringing us together for another day. And everything that we do, dear God, let it be a blessing, honor to you. Sir Charles, yes, that is me. It's part of the network, part of the crew. But of course, this is your Get Up and Go, the breakfast show.
Wake up, it's a brand new dawn. The breakfast show got the vibes turned on. From Maracas Bay to the Savannah line, let's start the day in Caribbean prime. Good vibes rolling through the air. The breakfast show, energy everywhere. We talk, we laugh, we make you think. Grab your doubles or your morning drink.
Good morning, Richard. You need to silence.
You know, I'm looking at my mic and to see if it's on or not, and it was blocking me. Somebody is blocking my mic, so I'm saying, why I'm not seeing my mic? Anyway, it is that kind of morning.
You know, they have a lot of people have problems seeing their mic, right?
Why we have to talk about Steve Khan this morning?
Good morning. Good morning.
Sorry, Steve.
Sorry, Steve. Yeah, sorry, Steve.
Oh my
anyway,
God.
it's an absolute rain is it's cooled down now, but it's been pouring all morning in Arima and hard rain. So much so I have to use my earbuds today because I wouldn't hear not normally. You know, I have difficulty hearing normally if I don't use, because the rain is that hard sometimes.
Yeah.
Anyway, good morning, Richard. Good morning, Sir Charles. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. And good morning, listeners and viewers all over the globe.
Welcome to the breakfast show. Yes, and good morning to our listeners and viewers wherever you are. Wherever you're watching us or listening to us on Facebook, YouTube, M&E TV in Trinidad and Tobago, or up the Caribbean, or of course, if you are listening to us on TuneIn on smart devices, wherever you are, welcome to the breakfast show this morning. This Friday morning, the weekend has begun, people, so put a smile on your face.
It's going to be a rainy weekend, though.
Yeah, well, in the weather report, they had something about that last night, you know, when I was watching it on news. I was paying attention, and I was now saying, did he say it was going to be rainy or not? Whatever.
Looks like it's going to be a rainy weekend.
And
today is going to be a rainy day for sure. We know that. Although when I looked just now, rain wasn't falling in Port of Spain, so I don't know if that has changed. You know. So
maybe I'm not sure. People in town in the chat could tell us.
Yeah, I guess. Well, I mean, I could tell you, you know.
In the comment section.
When I looked on about half an hour ago, there was no rain in Port of Spain. I don't know if that has changed. So I am going to look now. And see. But we have a chock-full. No, it's not raining in Port of Spain. Yeah, well, not in St. James. Let me qualify that. St. James. No rain is falling in St. James. Right? But we have a good program for you today. We have the Honourable Khadijah Ameen, who is Minister of Rural Development and Local Government.
She'll be on in the next power, you know, and we could talk to her Wendell, about one of your pet peeves, local government reform.
Local government reform, of course.
Yeah,
She not getting away with that.
So we can ask about that. What are the plans for that, if any? If that's if even on the, if it's on the drawing board at all, it might not be.
No, nobody spoke about it on the political platform, on this election platform at all. And no party, nobody raised local government reform on this election platform. So clearly it was not a priority again, because we have had it for so many elections now. I get tired of hearing it. You know what I mean? But let's hear, because she was from the belly of that beast, if you want to call it a beast. She is from there. You know, she served as a local government representative for many years and as chairman of Tunapuna Piako Regional Corporation. So she has an intimate knowledge of what happens in that ministry. So it'll be interesting to hear from her. But, you know, we'll find out in the next hour. You know, I have lots of birthday greetings, today. So I don't know if you want to do your good news first, and then we can get into some greetings.
One is good news, one is more just because I feel to play the video.
So you're the boss.
No.
People don't realize you're the boss of this show.
No, I wish. No, but you know what? The good news. I have one. You know, just showcasing a particularly beautiful island. But the second one is you remember that girl who had that incident in Carnival, where she had to use the cemetery?
Yes, the foreigner.
Right. Well, local/foreigner, because her parents are Trinidadian, I believe.
Okay, she spoke with a distinct Yankee accent.
No, she's American, but her parents, so she's kind of American Trini, let's put it that way.
Okay.
Rather than Trini American, she's American Trini. I mean, because her parents are Trinidadian. So she released a video that I saw yesterday. I just felt like playing it because it's Friday, so to hell with all that.
Oh God, don't tell me she had another grave, Richard.
Let's go to our good news. So that's Tobago. Of course, you know, we know Tobago is beautiful. You almost got in trouble.
That's not the same girl. That's not the same girl.
No, she doesn't. But you know, Tobago, you got into trouble once by saying, oh, St. Lucia was so beautiful and it is the most beautiful place or whatever. And I said more than Tobago, and you had to kind of backtrack and bacchanal and the Tobago people will come in fear. No offense to St. Lucia, but you know, he is in Trinidad and Tobago. So yeah, nobody was well praising him, St. Lucia.
No, I was. St. Lucia is beautiful. Grenada is too, but St. Lucia is
probably
the most beautiful island I've
the islands are gorgeous. I mean, even though they're similar, they're different in their own ways, but they're all similar, but similarly beautiful and gorgeous. And as I say, some are different and have that little extra something in some different direction than the others. But they all have their own uniqueness that makes them, you know, stand out. So that's, of course, for all of our regional viewers. And of course,
unless we have anyone from St. Lucia listening to us. I know we have people who close to people in St. Lucia listening to us, but I don't know if we have actual St. Lucians listening to us.
I don't know what you're talking about.
But go ahead and play your next video.
Well, is this the girl? I just felt it was funny to me. But anyway, this is Gabby Faye. This is Gabby Faye, who had that incident in the cemetery during Carnival and was the subject of memes and all kind of stuff. And anyway, this is her doing an update, I guess.
It's for all of you who hating on me and telling me I have to get out of here ever since my Carnival incident. Let me tell you something now. I'm not leaving the country. And no, you can't make me. I am a real tranny, because that's how my mama made me. Every time you see me in the grocery, you want to pick because you recognize me. Shit talking in the comments crazy. I know you hating, but I'm still too sexy. I'm not going nowhere. No, I'm staying here. Cause I'm curvy and I wear a two-piece and I'm sweet and all the Trini men love me, so I'm not leaving the country. And no, you can't make me. I am a real Trini, cause that's how my mama made me. Hi, my name is Gabby Faye. I eat Trini food every day. So what if my breath's swinging? I'm still a hot gal outside blinging. TNT is just too sweet. TNT is where I wanna be. At the double stand, I'm a raucous beach. The internet thinks they can bully me, but they can't. I have self-esteem. My self-confidence is high key. You can catch me at Times Square and Nike. And the truth is, you just wanna be like me. So I'm not leaving the country. And no, you can't make me. I am a real Trini, cause that's how my mama made me.
But Gabby have talent. Gabby have talent.
I am a real Trini. It doesn't get realer than that, you know.
I like that.
I love her spunk. I love her willing to stand up to anybody, and you know, many people don't have that kind of strength, you know, and inner strength. So I love her for that. I love her. I love her.
She has perspicacity. That's what she has. Perspicacity. That's what she has.
Gabby, fair power to you. You're damn right. You're a Trini, so the hell with all of them. So, you know, power to you. And you know the internet can be harsh because it's like a response to bullying and stuff like that. Yeah?
So, guys, what happened with Gabby? Because, like, I missed that. So, what happened with Gabby?
No,
yeah,
man.
Not everybody will pick up everything, regardless, even if it goes viral. So, what happened to Gabby in the cemetery?
Oh, you didn't know what happened to
Gabby in the cemetery?
Who don't know? I'm sure a lot of people don't know what really happened.
I don't know that we need to remind people of that, though.
You know what? I mean, I can put it politely. I mean, she had to
relieve herself.
And she wasn't sure where public toilets were. And she saw a stream of people going into the cemetery to relieve themselves. So she thought it was acceptable. So she went into the cemetery to relieve herself. And she did. But she talked about it. And so it became a viral. That's the subject.
The mistake she made was actually talking about it after.
Talking about it,
yes.
So it became a thing because she talked about it, about the incident, because she was just very, I suppose she, in terms of her channel or her what she puts up on TikTok or any of her content, I suppose she prides herself on being very honest about her life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so she was very honest about what happened. And of course,
Tuesday, one of those days.
One of the carnival days.
Yeah, one of the costume days. Yeah.
But that is a serious indictment on the Carnival Commission and all for making sure they have public facilities all over the place.
Churches, you could provide 100,000 of those toilets. People are still going to do what they want when they want. Trust me, I've seen it, and I'm sure everybody has seen it. Because sometimes the line to actually go up into one of those loos, they call them loos, those portable toilets. Sometimes so long that people don't want to wait. You know,
sometimes people can't wait. You know, some people can't wait.
That too.
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe Gabby fell into that category that she just couldn't wait because somebody else would have been filming and making the meal.
If there is a point you reach but you can't wait. Or it's that urgent. Pride and everything goes out the window, you know.
Yeah.
It goes out the window when your body speaks. You didn't say when your body speaks now. When your body's shouting and fussing you and saying, "I need to go."
Yeah.
You have to find a place.
Men generally could get away with that, but women don't. People judge them. People malign them, people do them because people tell them all kind of insulting things when they see women doing it. Men, as I say, generally get away with it, but women have it tougher. You understand? They've had it tough for all the time. You know, so they need, and generally when you go to those fetes and so on, you see more female bathrooms than male bathrooms. But generally, you see females going into the male bathrooms anyway because there's so many of them. You know,
sometimes
so
you meet women,
Yeah.
And
And
then they apologize a little bit and say, sorry, I had to use that. I understand. It's not a problem.
most men understand, you know. Most men
Men
understand
don't
and allow them to
really-
use the bathrooms.
Yeah, men wouldn't. Men would just say, okay, whatever.
You know what I find amazing about that? That we still doing this male-female bathroom. You know, on an airplane, for anybody who's gone on an airplane, and I know male and female, you know, is everybody going to the same bathroom? You know?
Yeah.
You understand? And I don't know why we structure this male and female bathroom still all over the place. To me, it makes no sense. But that's just me, yeah?
Yeah.
That's just me. It makes no sense.
Well, but anyway, we should get to the comment section to say good morning to all of our viewers and listeners and viewers who are on. And of course, you can send comments to us. If you are on the YouTube or Facebook stream, you have the ability to send comments to us. So you can. Of course, if you are watching us on M&E TV or listening to us on a smart device or via TuneIn on any radio, then you can't, obviously. But you can send a comment via WhatsApp, and the WhatsApp number is 2811. It's 281-1315.
1315.
281-1315. So that's the only way you can comment to us if you are watching us on television, etc. But anyway, we go to the comment section.
I'll do birthdays first and then do comments. Right?
Go to the comment section to greet people on this Friday morning.
All right. Happy birthday to Angela Patterson. Remember the lady? She worked right next door, Abercrombie Street, the Radio Vision Limited. She works right next door. Today's her birthday.
Yes.
Desmond Neve, Eric Esdell. Today is also the birthday of Mavis John. I was going to message Sir Charles this morning and to play a Mavis John for us. Today is her birthday. Today would have been my sister's birthday, Sandra Viveg. And yesterday, I have a special birthday greeting to give here. Yesterday, so this is belated birthday greetings to Magistrate Nicholas Ali. All right, his birthday was yesterday, and apparently he's having a birthday party today. So happy birthday, belated birthday greetings, Nicholas. Richard, I'm told you know him well. You were his boss at one time.
Who's this?
Nicholas Ali.
Yeah, I know Nicholas.
Yeah. Right, so he's a magistrate. Yesterday was his
magistrate.
birthday.
Yeah, he's a magistrate now. Yeah.
Yes. So he's celebrating his birthday this weekend. So Nicholas, it's coming from
happy birthday, Nicholas.
Belated birthday greetings. All right, so those are the birthday greetings, and I'll now go to the chat. Suzanne Jessup came in exactly at 12 a.m. Magic Grand Rising Gentlemen, Valerie Mendoza, Melissa from Chamflair. Marlon Motley says, good wet Friday morning. Of course, it is very wet in Arima.
Yeah, very right, Marlon.
I don't know where else it's wet. Erica Charles says, thank God for life. Boy Bidesi from one of the safest places in Trinidad, that's Debe. He said, absolutely no gangs. Ozzy Molino says, good morning. Sherwin Kerr from a very wet Arima. Rena Jennings, Petey Valley. Cheryl Johnson, good morning. Patricia DeFore. Slick Money Grip also says, good morning. It's the weekend. Joyce Phillip, good morning to the Breakfast Show Titans. Mrs. R, good morning. All. Marcia Rock. Nasa Mohammed from Rio Claro. Steph says, good morning. Richard Jemmett, good morning, gentlemen. Say hi to my mother, Josephine Jemmett. So, Josephine, if you're out there listening.
Good morning, Miss Josephine Jemmett.
Good morning, Josephine. I haven't heard a name like Josephine in a while. Kathy Ann Charles, good morning, everyone. Brennan Smith, Beefy Smith from Tobago. Carl Guevara from Central Trinidad. Ingrid from Tucson, Arizona. Robert Taylor from Fernandina Beach in Florida. Gavin Frank, Powder Magazine. Anthony Tinto out there in Ontario, Canada. Brent Hackshaw, good morning, gentlemen. May your day be safe and productive. Wayne Ramsey out there in Fort Lauderdale. Julia Batiste, Lambert Bruce, Miguel Gonzalez, and Noel from Oshawa, Ontario. Ambrose Black from New York. Maureen Dilchan Maharaj. Scott Consulting, who is Chris Toussaint. Joyce Phillip is saying he plays dark. Where are you, Joyce? I think you're in Arima too. David Wares, morning all. Overcast in Diego Martin. Great morning to all from DL. And Lennox Francois says, good morning, gentlemen. Doreen Pierre, Ila Rizan. Who is that in Lucian Blood? You, Mrs. R? Don't try that. Yes, Steph. Island Girl says, it's too early in the morning for Gabi. But Gabi was real good this morning, Island Girl. She was real good.
Don't make me play again, Don't make me play again,
Lester Cragwell said that was...
Randall, I need very slight encouragement to play again.
We're going to get up a little chase of Gabi again. That Lester Cragwell said that was better than plenty songs they play on radio. Finbar Collins says Sir Charles want to see that video. I don't think he really wants to see it though. And who else is new? Who else is new to the chat there? Cheryl Seeley, blessed morning, everyone. Nicholas says, good morning, guys. I'm assuming that's Nicholas. I don't know if that's Nicholas Ali, the magistrate. Michael Robinson from Yokohama, Japan. Margaret Thomas, good morning, Wendell, Richard, and Sir Charles. Patty Petard, or I wonder if that's Peters she wanted to type there. It might be Peters. And Anthony Atwell and Andrew Joseph all said good morning. All right. So that's our morning greetings. Of course, our guest later on this morning is the Minister of Rural Development and Local Government, Khadijah Ameen. All right, she'll be our guest this morning on the breakfast show.
Okay, so let me good morning to Archbishop to
Ezra Clark,
Ashton Clark, and also he's out there in Branton, and Juliana out there in Maruga. Juliana, is it raining out in Maruga? So you know when it's raining heavy by you feel it's raining all over the place. I'm getting that kind of feeling this morning. All
right. Just quickly add Ron DeSantis Jr., Andre 868, and Charles Adderley from the Nassau, Bahamas. Somewhere I've always wanted to go, the Bahamas. I haven't reached as yet. Hopefully someday I'll reach. You know, it's part of my bucket list. So those are all our greetings this morning. And Richard is now going to play Gabi Faye again.
Are we doing that on this Friday morning?
Why not? Let me get a taste of Gabi again.
Just because we like Gabi Faye this morning, we are playing Gabi Faye again. All right, here we go.
For all of you who hating on me and telling me I have to get out of here ever since my carnival incident, let me tell you something now. I'm not leaving the country. And no, you can't make me. I am a real Jenny, because that's how my mama made me. Every time you see me in the grocery, you want to pick because you recognize me. Shit talking in the comments crazy. I know you hating, but I'm still too sexy. I'm not going nowhere. No, I'm staying here. Because I'm curvy and I wear two-piece and I'm sweet and all the Trini men love me. So I'm not leaving the country. And no, you can't make me. I am a real Trini, because that's how my mama made me. Hi, my name is Gabi Faye. I eat Trini food every day. So what if my breath swinging? I'm still a hot gal outside blinging. TNT is just too sweet. TNT is where I want to be. At the double stand, I'm a raucous beach. The internet thinks they can bully me, but they can't. I have self-esteem. My self-confidence is high key. You can catch me at Times Square and Nike. And the truth is, you just want to be like me. So I'm not leaving the country. And no, you can't make me. I am a real Trini, because that's how my mama made me.
I swear, I feel I sat next to that lady on the plane coming back just before Carnival. I came back from Africa, and I sat next to someone. I sat between two people who looked exactly like her, and I don't know why I've starting to feel now she might have been one, because the plane was actually coming from New York.
So you were on the train and she's singing about who after her then?
F?
I didn't stutter.
Okay.
I start off small and they let me hush, huh?
And the old talk and flack that Gabi's been getting, I suppose, Because I said I haven't seen this situation, Gabby. And sometimes you really need not to put your business outside there.
Somebody send it for you now, Sir Charles. Eh?
No, they have
Oh,
not. But
okay.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
I'm just kind of picturing you coming down, Chadwick Road or some other place, and you eat some bad roti or some bad food in a band. You're looking for somewhere, anywhere, anything.
No, those things happen. I remember that happened to me once when I was I in school at the time or something, maybe. I was feeling horrible, and I started to head home. I decided I was heading back home because of my stomach problems, and I'm in the maxi. And let me tell you, the world becomes magnified in your mind, and time slows to a crawl when you have to go. It does. And I'm in the maxi, and the maxi man wanted to do the unthinkable, wait for other passengers to come in the maxi. While you are sitting in the maxi, everybody that came in the maxi and sat down was like a round of applause in your brain, because you are so tense that you need to get home as soon as possible to get to a toilet. And of course, when you live in Arima and not Cascade or St. Anne's or Marava, you wait longer because you're in the and when the maxi starts moving, and by the time the maxi starts to move, there's a chorus of hallelujah singing in your head, and you're going down the highway, and you just want the highway to whip by, because all you are seeing is the comfort of your toilet. That is all. And your body is going, and your body going, you think you will make it? You think you will make it? And you're saying, yes, I will make it. Oh, you feel so. Yes, I will make it. No, oh, you think you will make it. You think you will charge. Yes, I charge. I will make it. And then I couldn't make it. And I had to press the bell. And I was at Macoya. Macoya was a part of the reef. And man, I told you going to Rima, but you could barely even talk, eh? I changed my mind and you pay a fee. He said, I told you going to Rima.
You went to that little urinal and you sat on the side of a coin, eh?
No, he didn't even understand what I said, because everything became blurry. The whole sense becomes blurry. I kid you not. And when you're coming on the highway, and then every house on the highway becomes a point of refuge in your mind in case.
You're thinking it's your house.
In case.
And you're
when I got up in Macoya, the industrial estate is right there. Yes. I went into the first one and I told God, I need to use your toilet. God didn't even argue or say I can't use the toilet. It's because it's not for members of the public. It's for people who walk here. He didn't even go down that road. All he says, look the key. All he says, look the key. I don't know what expression I had on my face, but it was no argue with this madman. Just give him the key. So I understand. I'm sure people have had incidents like that. You know?
I'm sure.
Every situation. If Gabby had stayed on the road and messed herself, everybody would be saying a different thing.
Yeah, no, but power to her, in terms of being so honest, because so many people are very honest about their lives. Wendell is very honest about his life.
Yeah.
And also being able to withstand bullying, because the internet is quite, they like to bully you.
Richard, you make me pour me AC, I started sweating from laughing. Thinking about it.
But I tell you, it was an event.
I'm sure we all had some sort of situation like that. I never had it, but trust me,
I did when I was very young. I did, but I didn't have the benefit of what Richard had, running out of maxi and going to the toilet. I just had to throw it clothes after.
You didn't make it.
You see, you can understand what Gabby had to go through.
No, but I think I was in school. I think I was in CIC at that point. That is so a good few years ago. Oh my God.
Oh Lord.
You mean the ultimate actor? I mean,
Oh my word.
So Gabby girl, power to you.
Yeah, all power to you. The only thing, Richard, the only thing a lot of other people didn't do is make a song after.
Well, because she was so bullied, because she was so honest. They have memes and all sorts of stuff on her. Yeah? So
yeah. Look, talk about a bully. Look one come on.
Oh Lord.
So
anyway,
well,
the point of where I could do the headlines and then we can take some calls.
Yeah. But I wanna just touch on Brent Hackshaw, making a comment here that we could look into. He said there are a lot of young women in our country who are faced with deciding whether to give up their self-respect or get or keep employment or keep their self-respect, which results in them losing same. And I think earlier on he did say if we could get a program like that, right? Gentlemen, can you do a show hosting someone or persons who can speak on or advise persons, especially young women, on the process available to them when faced with sexual advances in the workplace? Brent, we will look into that. I think we may have done a program like that way back in the day, but you're right. It's a program worth doing again, because I know a lot of people, a lot of women face that. Well, some men too, but a lot of women face that in the workplace. So we will try to get someone. Who would that be? Maybe we might have to look outside of the ministerial portfolios and get a professional along those lines. You know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we will try to do that for you.
You can
right?
look at it. You can look at it.
Yeah. We will. All right. So yes, going to headlines. Let
me take some of your calls. I might as well put up the ticker tape at this point in terms of people knowing the number to call, which you should know by now, but let me just put it up one time while I read the headlines. So the headlines for today, the front page of the Daily Express: WASA shakedown, PM rips apart transformation plan, new management structure coming. This is one of the issues that I always have when the transitional governments, the continuity of certain things in terms of fixing institutions. Now, I don't know in any in-depth detail what would have been put in place for WASA, but I know there was a transformative committee in terms of transforming WASA. That was very clear, that was in media. So just ripping apart the transformation plan, new management structure coming, I find after 2 weeks or almost in office, I find these kinds of decisions, in my opinion, need more sober analysis. Rather than you just deciding, okay, and rather than saying we are reviewing it and we're looking at whether this plan makes sense and we have our experts dealing with it, because it would be experts that would have come up with the plan. So it's not productive, in my opinion, to just say we're going to do away with a plan completely. Be transparent and honest and say, okay, there were some things that we liked, there's some things we didn't like, and we think that there's some things that can work, and conversations like that. Rather than, because anytime a new government comes in, and I'm just talking about UNC, when the PNM comes in, 2 days do the same thing, say, hey, we're doing away with that. And, sometimes just have sober thought and analysis about it before you say, okay, we're going to do away with it. 2 weeks, I don't know, is sufficient time, in my opinion, to say you're doing away with an agency like WASA and what the transformative plan was.
Well, just look at what's happening with the Revenue Authority. The Minister of Finance at the first cabinet meeting said that people are going to get refunds, and the Prime Minister yesterday said she don't know what Minister Tanku is talking about. You know what I mean?
Property tax.
Yeah, the property tax. You understand? Yeah. She don't know what he's talking about. So, I mean, anyway.
But that's just my opinion, because both governments do it, and sometimes you just want it to be more soberly done in terms of analysis and critiquing and having other experts say, well, this part is good and this part is not so good. This part can be tweaked better. I have no problem with that.
Richard, unless somebody could prove me wrong, I don't ever remember a PNM government coming and replacing a year and tearing up something publicly. I don't ever remember that.
Did she tear it up?
She tore it up in front of everybody yesterday and handed it to the girl from
I didn't see the postcard conference.
Yes,
so
she tore it up.
But anyway, let me just do the headlines rather than commenting on it. Shocked teenager Zwade Allen dies. On the back page, cartel restricted, and that was a subject of much commentary. Of course, we were trying to get a conversation with Vibes Cartel, so I reached out to people. So anybody who knows the Vibes Cartel number, send it to Wendell, please. Because Wendell number all over the place.
I actually reached out to a friend in Jamaica and asked him if he could get it, because when I was in Jamaica last time, Vibes Cartel was in the hotel, the lobby with me. My daughter actually went up to post.
And you didn't get his number, Wendell?
No, I didn't. I didn't think all this bacchanal coming, Richard.
No, you never know.
At that point in time, him coming to Trinidad wasn't even my thought. Wasn't even public.
Because you gotta come, because it's still good to speak about him about the concert anyway. And when restricting his movements is one thing, but I didn't know that you could control somebody's access to a morning show if they wanted to do it virtually. No, I mean, you understand? You have the power to restrict somebody's movement because they're not a non-national, even though and that is a big question mark in my legal mind. Because you have freedom of movement that is enshrined under the Constitution. So I'm not so sure how these powers are being enforced, but according to the news, I can't say according to the Ministry of Defense, but according to the news, they were saying that he was going to be restricted and he was not being allowed to go to morning school
and morning shows.
But some interviews, but if those interviews are virtual, you can't stop them.
No, but in any event, if a school is not a government-run school, you can't stop him either.
Well, it could restrict. Well, apparently, he's restricting movement. So I find all of it kind of murky in my mind, and maybe something I could probably look at, or just make it easier and have somebody else talk about it. Anyway. But it's strange, and it comes across kind of. Well, you know me, I'm a civil libertarian. So anytime you're doing something like that, I'm always like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
That's me. You know me. I'm all about people being afforded their constitutional rights and people not being because he's not under any charge at this point.
No.
He's been even if the court releases you on a technicality, you are released. There is a presumption of innocence, as Wayne Sturge would know.
Oh, we have plenty politicians like that, and true Minister Sturge would know that of being an attorney.
But there's a presumption of innocence, and this is a CARICOM national, so it starts to get a little even murkier. But anyway.
And we are saying all this. I mean, at least me, I don't listen to Vibes Cartel music. I wouldn't go a concert with him. You know what I mean? But still, he is a human being at the end of the day who has rights. So,
yeah, I'm not a big Vibes Cartel person myself, but
I don't know what Vibes Cartel sing. Sing one song, Vibes Cartel sing. Give me the lyrics I want.
So Charles, that is for you. You're the big Caribbean DJ here.
I'm not a Vibes Cartel man either.
Oh Lord have mercy.
I played for you, but like no.
I can't
remember that.
Stopped, no boxing.
There was a time I used to rap.
Yeah. Fight stop, no boxing and TNT until you got appointed. All of that is on the Daily Express. Now, I had reached out to Wayne Sturge to come on the show, but he hasn't replied as yet. It's a lot of difficulty sometimes getting through to some people in this era. It is. It's problematic. Some do answer you, some don't answer you at all. The Trinidad and Tobago Guardian for today. Wassa heads to rule. CEO Halliday stays, but government targets 34 executive positions, costing $30 million annually.
Tell me something, Richard. Sorry to interrupt you again, but was not the same thing Minister Marvin Gonzalez was doing when he was there as minister?
Right.
And
They were trying to get rid of certain positions. Yeah.
and they give him real pressure. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
So a change the government now and it's accepted. Okay. Right.
No refunds for property tax. Government to restrict Vibes Cartel's movement in Trinidad and Tobago. That could be the morning poll, I guess. Do you agree with the restrictions placed on Vibes Cartel?
Yeah, we could ask.
So that's on the front page of the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian. On the back page, TTCB gets 43 million in 11 years. And the Trinidad and Tobago newspaper today, front page, Kamla tears up P&M's transformation plan overhaul at WASA. $74 million in salaries for 34 execs, smaller management team. Only 16% get 24-hour water flow. More people-centered approach. No. Anyway, I could not comment on that. And on the back page, be fair to West Indies at Olympics. CWI wants ICC and IOC to accommodate region at LA 2028. And Jan go raring to go versus Ireland. So that's it for our 3 dailies this morning. So now you know, and of course, we can take some calls before we get to our morning poll.
Mm-hmm. And David Wells is saying Cartel even got back his US visa. And we are here anyway. We'll do it as a poll. We'll find out exactly what you all think when we poll it this morning, in terms of the restrictions being placed on Vibes Cartel. You know, I don't know. I could imagine how those promoters are feeling right now. You know what I mean? Because I don't know. I saw a video of Vibes Cartel with who it was, the Guyanese Prime Minister. President. I saw him with the St. Vincent Prime Minister, and I mean they were welcoming him into their island in terms of whatever he's doing positive now, you know what I mean? Because people can make mistakes in life, you know, and change their life around, and they are heroes. Nelson Mandela.
But then all religions are predicated on that you can't be from Christianity. The one that you can be forgiven for what you have done.
Yes.
But most religions have some sort of absolving, and once you turn to whatever respective God you believe in, that you can get forgiveness. But and who are the people that usually govern us? People who are religious. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Are we taking calls now, guys?
What then?
Are we into the call section?
Yes, we are.
Right. Hold on. Caller, good morning.
I hope you remember me paying this bill every time I have to wait. Good morning, Mr. R.
Good morning, Mrs. R.
Morning, honey. Morning, Wendell. I said, let me call you.
Good morning, Christy.
Morning. I said, Wendell, one of the birthdays that I heard you shout out, I immediately called the person and I was like, you have to lock on to the era. So they are both locked on. So again, related with
who would that be?
Nicholas.
Nicholas. Okay.
Yeah. Carry on.
Yeah.
All right. Nicholas and Carrie Ann, yes.
Yes. Good morning, Carrie Ann. Good morning, Nicholas.
So just saying, locked onto all the callers. Richard, I was killing myself laughing this morning. So, I mean, that light, I find that was so good because, you know, all the other mornings you'll just get into the program. And we had that moment of just having a good laugh this last day of the week, and the sour vibes, the truth, the heaviness of some people, you know, wanting to say, okay, go on with the program. And I mean, come on.
Only one person did that, you know. Only one person did that, and that person is consistent. They're changing up the name, but they're very consistent with their attitude.
It's so off. Because at the end of the day, you know, laughter is so healthy, as you always say. You know, just let go. Sometimes just have a good laugh. The world is so heavy right now, you know. Again, condolences quickly to the family, the footballer. You know, we were in prayer. We prayed so hard for that young boy to come out. And unfortunately, God has other plans. So to his family, of course, definitely condolences. And yeah, you're doing a fantastic job. So, gotta go. Bye. Love you guys.
Bye.
Good to hear you. And yes, it's raining in Moruga. Thank you very much, and Juliana. And of course, it's raining very heavily here right now. Good morning to you, caller.
Good morning, Khadijah. Good morning, Wendell.
Morning, Zina.
Good morning, Zina.
Morning to all those who looked on this lovely rainy Friday. And to those who find that we mustn't laugh, we'll go and take a hike. Because thank you for that joke this morning. I laughed so much. Yes, it was a nice night moment. Thank God it's Friday.
All right, Zita. They could go and fall asleep on some other programs because those are the programs that put you to sleep.
Hey, the weekend people.
Why we have to be stiff and only talking about one sort of thing all the time? It's Friday. Thank God it's Friday. So good morning to all those who locked on. And DJ, wherever you are at this point. Morning, Rita.
Thanks, Zina.
Yes, everybody.
Okay, thanks very much. Yeah, good to hear this morning.
The thing about it is that we have made a commitment to start this program with good news every morning. And if the good news extends into a personal experience that is funny, that's what we will do.
I don't you have to justify anything.
No, I just telling people because you know what hundreds more people will join on now if they feel that they could get a nice little laugh in the morning early and then get into the serious topics. You know how many people will join on now? What?
Good morning, caller.
Romantic.
Good morning, Sir Charles. Good morning, Wendell. Good morning, Richard.
Good morning.
I don't know why they want to stop Cartel. Cartel is our country. Let the man explore. It made me want to spend 2 weeks in Trinidad. You might see how house he like. He want to purchase. You know, actually like he buying house all over the place. I welcome him to Trinidad.
For his daughter, you're right.
You understand? Right. And then he's a good person to talk to. It's like you send him in white. You see, say, hey, we're going to be like for that lifestyle, not right. And that trend will look up to him. I mean, yes, they're going to invite him to the schools. No respect to that, but still, at the same time, let the man be free and who thinks he do nothing to say like he do anything. He in the States right now and he buy a house or horse and he moving like how he wants. You understand? Yep. And also, Mr. Richard, the weekend has begun. And to the people, if you know Mother's Day go on and you all didn't carry all your mother out, this weekend, St. Dominic Children's Home is having their this is the 7th year they're having it, Sisters Can Cook. It's tomorrow from 5 p.m. You can purchase ticket at the gate and also you'll have lots to eat, lots to drink non-alcoholic, but it will be very entertaining, really, really nice. So if no one didn't get a chance to carry their mother, their aunt, their nieces out for Mother's Day,
come out and support this
at keeping at Holy Name Convent.
All right.
So thank you all so much. You'll have a blessed one.
No problem.
And that ad was brought to us courtesy who?
St. Dominic's Children's.
Yeah, so that's at Holy Name Convent this weekend. So that's something to go out and support. But you said it was Saturday. Was it Saturday?
I think it's Saturday.
Yeah. Hello, good morning, caller.
Pleasant morning, guys.
Good morning.
And I hope that you will say what I would like to say. And I hope you won't think it's controversial.
Where are you calling us from first?
Well, as long as it's not going to get us in trouble.
You're from Cuba?
No. I'm calling from Cuba.
All right. Be responsible. Go ahead.
30 years of age, sorry. And I want to say that since the last time that UNC was in power, I remember looking at Facebook, I think it was at that time, and seeing the racial slurs. And this was actually during the election period. And that thing really broke my heart, because I grew up in Cuba. I lived in Cuba, but I grew up in San Fernando, and I grew up among both races, or all races, you should say. And it really broke my heart to see the level of racism that was put out to African people during that time. And when they won, I remember crying to my dad. And my dad said, "Don't worry, everything will be good," and whatever. And I just felt like a serious racist divide, and I feel it. I saw it again during this election. And it doesn't matter who I vote for, who I voted for, who I support. But it's something that I notice every time PNM is in power. Anything, if there's a murder or anything on social media posted, the comment under it is PNM, it's PNM, it's PNM, it's whoever is the leader of PNM, is that false. And And even the news, it's all about death, and it's all about crime, and it's all about the crime rate. And the moment that UNC gets in power, the news, the media just changes. And the moment somebody writes, somebody died or whatever, and they say, well, I see that some people nowadays on TikTok are saying, oh, UNC fault. And people are slandering them left, right, and center. And the racial slurs are there, and they aren't ending. And I think it's time that somebody speaks on it. It's ridiculous. The racist divide in this country has, I don't think it will ever end, because I'm just getting into darker days on a spiritual life. But I just think that this thing is ridiculous, and somebody absolutely needs to be able to deal with it. Because life cannot continue in Trinidad and Tobago about PNM, UNC, PNM, UNC, PNM. It is absolutely ridiculous.
Okay.
But thank you so much for allowing me to say that, and have a wonderful day.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thanks, You've expressed a sentiment that a lot of people are expressing. Whether it will change or not, I don't know. And sometimes I feel now, I think I've reached a stage in my life where I really don't care anymore. Because I just get tired. I just sign off. So even when people come on the chat with some of this, the divide and thing, and the bullying type of attitude, it upsets me. But guess what? Because of Richard and Sir Charles, I leave it alone, because they calm me down. Richard and the McCoy incident calms me down. Gabby Faye and her incident calms me down. All these incidents now calms me down. I feel at peace.
All right, hold on there. Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning, Richard, Sir Charles, and Renee, my good buddy.
Morning, Mr. Grant.
Yeah, Mr. Richard, this is for you. When PNM in power, there's go through a transition. PNM look very smart with our cup, and PNM will see in full citizen bank to walk right through. We move it. A lot of UNC people with different parts of government, they walk right through. Because when UNC was in power, they leave people there and they walk. Right? But in 2 weeks' time, what's our going through a transition? When Ghana was there, he overhired people with Duke and all of them. And this lady from PSA, she said that she'll see by Padala and do nothing wrong in 2 weeks. And PNM overcame it. We have to look and talk positive and be open-minded, especially when you're on the television. Right? This is how we control the run. Because some of us, we kind of slip become. And I would say I've seen that study because I went through politics in 1956 with Dr. Williams, right up to now. I follow every day. I have ministry. You see this racial thing? They preach that in the family when they are the puja and the 9 years Ramayan. So because I should line with them, I work with them. All you can on the farm.
Mr. Grant, you're not helping the situation.
I'm telling you. The road, so
you're not helping the situation by bringing up those things.
Thanks very much for
race.
Yeah, because there are many. Because you seem to be kind of throwing words for Hindus and stuff like that. And there are many Hindus who are not racist at all.
Yeah.
So don't racist people. I might be naive, but I really do believe the racist people in Trinidad and Tobago are the minority.
I believe so too.
I believe they are the minority. It's just sometimes they're a little vocal, especially in the anonymity of the internet. They can say all kind of trash. But it's minority, and all countries battle with it. And of course, Trinidad and Tobago, because we are more diverse than other islands, we have more mixtures of people in other islands. It's something that people kind of will gravitate to. And the leadership of both parties have been guilty over the years historically of kind of pandering to it in a kind of
allowing it. I'm
not calling it out. But I really do believe it's a minority. So don't be identifying and trying to paint a broad brush to anybody about it. I think it's a minority of humans who have that kind of disgusting attitude to other humans. And let's not, facilitate and generalize about it.
Yeah.
That's just my thought.
Richard, we missed the poll entirely.
Yeah. So what we could do, we could give the poll, and people only could start to vote on the poll. We'll go to the news and come back and then give the results very quickly.
All right. So we put up the poll
based on vibes. That's our poll for this morning. So you could start voting on it while we go to the news. So you could put your vote in the comment section, and we promise we'll give 5 minutes after news to take calls on this topic because, of course, it's trending on social media.
All
but
right.
our 7 a.m. news is next, not so, Wendell?
Yes, it is.
Here we go.
The news you need, the clarity you deserve. Local, regional, global. This is Net Radio News Now.
This is your news update for Friday, May 16th, 2025. I am Amanda Mitchell with New Era TT Radio and M&E TV. Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar has confirmed May 23rd as the official date for opening the upcoming parliamentary term. The date will mark the commencement of legislative activities following the April 28th general election, providing the administration sufficient time to finalize cabinet appointments and outline its legislative agenda. Recently, the Office of the President released the Gazette notice outlining the schedule of duties for respective government ministers. Defence Minister Wayne Sturge has ordered significant cuts to the itinerary of Jamaican dancehall artist Vybz Kartel, who is scheduled to arrive in Trinidad on May 26th for his May 31st concert. Sturge has prohibited the artist from 2 media interviews and several planned events, including a morning radio interview, a midday TV appearance, a local press drop-in, a meet and greet, a school or youth centre visit, and a cultural lunch with community leaders. Sturge confirmed the adjustments, citing concerns about Palmer's past legal troubles and his potential interaction with the country's vulnerable youths, particularly as his conviction was not based on merit, but on a legal technicality. The Dean of the Faculty of Food and Agriculture at the University of the West Indies in Trinidad, Professor Mark Woodivira, is urging Agriculture Minister Ravi Rathiram to push agri-tourism as a viable economic driver for Trinidad and Tobago. Woodivira, a professor of agri-environmental soil physics, believes agri-tourism can boost both food security and tourism if supported through science, technology, and partnerships. He's calling for agricultural parks to showcase indigenous crops and wildlife, which could attract visitors and spur exports. We want to see a closer collaboration between the Faculty of Food and Agriculture and the Ministry of Agriculture, the professor said, emphasizing the need for evidence-based approaches. Former Minister of National Service and Youth Development Foster Cummings claims the United National Congress government plans to close down every youth program, responding to statements by Sport and Youth Affairs Minister Philip Watts about an audit into the hiring of contract workers. Cummings told the media, "They will close down every youth program. This is just their way of trying to tarnish the program so they can have an excuse to close it down." Defending his hiring of individuals on short-term contracts, Cummings said, "It was a new ministry and we needed to get the work done." Media Ambassador for the Police Service, ASP Owe Russell, says the TTPS has received a new batch of body cameras that will be used by officers to ensure accurate recording of incidents involving police and members of the public. The Commissioner has procured additional body-worn cameras that are more appropriate for the rigors of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, Russell said. "We hope to deploy 1,000 additional body-worn cameras to build that trust and confidence." He noted that the cameras would also influence public behavior during police interactions, as citizens would recognize that their behavior is also being filmed. The Water and Sewerage Authority has reported that several surface water treatment facilities in the northeast region are currently out of operation due to heavy overnight rainfall. Adverse weather conditions have caused riverine flooding, high turbidity, clogged intake screens, and siltation, disrupting normal operations at facilities including Matura, Aripo, Tompire, Guanapo, Quere, and North Orapuch. Affected areas include parts of Arima, Malabar, Wallafield, Santa Rosa, Pinto Road, Toco, Valencia, Maloney, Sangre Grande, and Manzanilla. WASA stated it is actively working to restore operations, and every effort is being made to return these facilities to service at the earliest possible time. You are listening to News on New Era TT Radio. In regional news, Barbados Prime Minister Mia Mottley has called on Barbadians to confront their colonial past and shape a new future as the 400th anniversary of the landing of the first British ship passed largely unnoticed. On May 14, 1625, the English merchant ship owned by William Courtine arrived, marking the start of colonization. In her message, Mottley urged citizens to stand strong, honor the past, and actively reclaim the destiny once denied to their ancestors. She acknowledged the painful legacy of slavery that followed, describing it as one of the darkest chapters in our nation's history. Mottley highlighted initiatives such as the digitization of archival records and the establishment of the Barbados Heritage District at Newton as tangible steps towards reclaiming agency lost through centuries of colonialism. In international news, U.S. President Donald Trump took his bid to end birthright citizenship to the U.S. Supreme Court yesterday. The case asks whether lower court judges should be able to block presidential orders nationwide, as they have done with Trump's executive order. U.S. Solicitor General D. John Sauer argued that the current system required judges to make rushed, high-stakes, low-information decisions, while New Jersey Solicitor General Jeremy Feigenbaum warned that siding with Trump would create chaos on the ground with a patchwork system of citizenship. Many legal experts say the president does not have the power to end birthright citizenship because it is guaranteed by the 14th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. A large group of protesters gathered outside the court, with former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi joining them to read from the Constitution, saying, "This is about birthright, it's about citizenship, it's about due process." That concludes your news update for today. I'm Amanda Mitchell for New Era TT Radio and M&E TV. The Breakfast Show with Wendell, Richard, and Sir Charles continues right after this short break.
That was news now. Stay informed with New Era TT Radio, Net Radio.
Join Sir Charles for the mid-morning mix and mingle, where good music, real talk, health, and family matters come together, and your voice is heard. Whether you're at work, on the go, or just taking a break, this is the perfect mix to keep you engaged, informed, and entertained. The mid-morning mix and mingle, weekdays, 9 a.m. to 12 noon on New Era TT Radio, Net Radio.
People often think about wellness in terms of physical health, nutrition, exercise, weight management, etc. But it is much more. Wellness is a holistic integration of physical, social, emotional, spiritual, intellectual, financial, occupational, and environmental state. Join our host, Teria George, a health coach, author, mediator, and CEO of the Institute of Health and Fitness, as she discusses 8 elements with several professionals within the various dimensions of wellness. So let's kick burnout to the curb for good.
Join Terry and George for Dimensions. Fridays at 11 a.m. on New Era TT Radio, Net Radio.
Wake up, rise up. It's the Net Radio Breakfast Show, bringing you the energy, music, and vibes to start your day right.
So tell everybody, and let's get it started. Hey, what yo? I'm telling you, all work and no play. Me say no way. We don't want no butter that I need a stress reliever. 2 drinks in the hand and a girl in the middle. Like the gun we need to
got better. You're locked into Net Radio Breakfast Show. Fueling your day with the best music and real talk.
So let me see your hands up in the air.
Hands up in the air.
People from everywhere.
We deserve a party. And of course, yes, it's a Friday. It's a party day. As we welcome you inside our number 2. This is your New Era TT. This is the Breakfast Show. Once again, good morning to my team.
Port of Spain, we are finally here. RSRR Productions, Married and Mischievous, finally comes to Port of Spain at Queen's Hall for 2 nights only on Saturday the 24th of May, 8:30 p.m. and Sunday the 25th at 6:30 p.m. Come see the play that everybody's talking about, strictly for adults only. The Scandalous, Married and Mischievous at Queen's Hall. Tickets available at all our usual outlets and at the Queen's Hall box office. This is not just a play, it's an experience. Don't miss it.
Great news, Caribbean. The Breakfast Show is now on M&E TV, bringing you entertaining conversations, vital information, and influential perspectives throughout Trinidad and Tobago and across the Caribbean region. Catch us on Digicel Channel 20, Flow Channel 111, Amplia Channel 117, Blink Channel 109, Tricode Channel 154, and Airlink Channel 10. The Breakfast Show connects with the Caribbean and Trinidad and Tobago like never before. We're now on M&E TV.
S&H Rumbox, 137 Western Main Road, St. James, for all your retail and wholesale needs for alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages. Call us at 686-0599 or visit us at 137 Western Main Road, St. James. S&H Rumbox, drinking out of the box.
Advertise with us on New Era TT Radio, the fastest growing streaming platform for talk in Trinidad and Tobago. Audio and video ads welcome. Elevate your brand with us. Connect with us at newerattradio@yahoo.com or call us at 299-5156. Now what are you waiting for?
All right, we are back for the second hour of the Breakfast Show on this Friday morning. A little rainy, but you know what? It's Friday, so who gives a damn about the weather? Put a smile in your face. It's Friday. The weekend is here. Wherever you are on the planet, it's the weekend, so enjoy it. Of course, we're going straight into our poll before we bring in Khadijah Ameen, who is the Minister of Rural Development and Local Government. Before we get into that interview, we're going to take some poll calls and, of course, some poll votes, because our morning poll this morning is right in front of you. Do you agree with the restrictions placed on Vibes Cartel by the Ministry of Defense / Homeland Security? So that's our poll this morning. The voting may begin now. Start giving me the results, Wendell and Sir John.
Are you hearing me?
Yep.
All right. Hilary Zan, no. Michael Oliver, no. Truth Set You Free, no. Boy Bidesi, okay, he didn't vote there. Brent Hackshaw, no. Trini Gets Fit, no, absolutely not. Gregory Boyer says no. Rena Jennings says no. DL says no. And a whole lot of other chats. With people just trying to divide and rule and whatever. So those are the votes we have online, Richard.
All right, so
hold on, just now. Sorry, I missed some. Carol Guevara says no. Lester Cragwell says no. Magic, no. Island Girl, no. Susan Jessup, no. Terrence Roach, no. Whatever that is, says yes. Anthony Atwell says yes. Romantic says yes. Boy Bidesi, no. Andre Reno, no. Miguel Gonzalez, no. Wayne Joseph, no. And Sam Love says yes. All right.
Okay.
Far Rockaway, I think you are an adult person, if I knew. I've seen you before. You should know better than to encourage that kind of stupid talk on the chat, okay? I think you should know better. We know you personally. We don't know who those other people are. They go in under obviously fake names, but don't spoil the chat now, please. Right? Ian Robley also says no, and Eunice Dublin says no. All right.
Okay, so I can go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Sir Charles.
Right. So Captain Ron says no. Frank says yes. And Pauline says bad influence, yes. Black Pearl says no. Christine in St. James says no. Ria says no. Junior says yes to the poll. Anand says yes. And Sexy Red says no.
All right. And I have a few more here again, Richard. Michael Robinson, no. Joyce Phillip, yes. Larry Charles, no.
So we can take a couple of calls before Khadijah Ameen comes in. So do you agree with the restrictions placed on Vibes Cartel? That's our poll this morning. We've got quite a few people voting already. So we can continue to vote. We're giving you a couple of minutes to vote before we get into our interview. So do you agree with the restrictions placed on Vibes Cartel? That's our poll this morning. Yes or no?
Caller, good morning. What say you?
No.
All right. Zima says no. Caller, good morning to you.
Hi, good morning. Are you hearing me?
Yes, we are.
I was thinking about it, and when I listened to the press conference yesterday, I will say yes.
Okay. Right. Thank you very much, caller. Right. So you can call us.
Johnson Noel also says no. But what is the basis of the restrictions? Nobody explained it.
He did. He said that part of it was that because he got off on a legal technicality, there's still the specter of what he may have done or may not have done, because there's a presumption of innocence, and I suppose maybe his history, I guess, along those lines. It may not be specifically that, but it's along those lines.
Yeah.
So if we had to go down that road, parliamentarians might have resigned.
I want to change it to yes. Change it to yes.
Oh, you want to change it to yes? All
yes,
right. Okay. So Captain Ron change is vote to yes. Thank you very much, Captain Ron.
Marcia Rock says yes. Gerard Darlington no. Marlon Motley no.
Okay. And
So,
Sean Ram says yes.
All right.
So I'm not seeing Khadijah backstage yet, so we can still continue to take votes on our poll this morning. Our poll, in case you're just joining us, and I don't know why you're now joining us, but maybe you're a late riser on a Friday morning. Do you agree with the restrictions placed on Vibes Cartel? That's our poll this morning. What do you think?
All right.
Caller, good morning. Sorry, Wendell. Morning, caller.
You go ahead.
Good morning, gentlemen. That question is a load. Once again, I'll ask a loaded question. I don't support Vice Cartel visiting any schools, because school children don't need to interact with the kind of music that Vice Cartel sings, right? Convoluting with other quote-unquote community leaders could be the potential to getting involved in more in crime. As we know, Vice Cartel has been involved in. I don't know if he's still involved in it. However, banning the man from doing interviews, radio and TV interviews, which will help promote his concert that you allowed him to come here to do. That part of it I don't agree with. So I agree with part of it, however, not part of it as well too. If you understand my response.
Yeah. And I just want to read two comments quickly. From Gerard Darlington says Vibes is 49 years old and I haven't heard him spew any violence rhetoric in any of his post-prison interviews. And Rich Aries also said he was freed by the same Privy Council that this country subscribes to. So now we cherry pick what cases are won.
Caller, good morning to you.
Hey, good morning, gentlemen. Norfolk, Virginia, front and center. I will regurgitate what the last caller said, but he's right on the button. This is a loaded question. It's not a simple yes no answer. But I'll tell you what, though. In the great state of New Jersey, you know who was made principal for a day going to the public schools? P. Diddy. Okay? So I guess if he gets off on a technicality, yeah, okay, it does. So it's a loaded question. That's why I abstained my vote. Thank you. By the way, you profiled me yesterday, but we talk about that next day. I don't know what the rest of the calls, but I get ideologically profiled, not racially, but ideologically profiled. You put me in a certain bandwagon. You understand? That's okay.
Who's that?
Jesus love you, so do I. Take care.
Thanks very much.
Who did that?
Keep the love. Keep the love.
Me? Margaret Thomas says no. Wayne Ramsey says no. And Magic says, what happened to Innocent? Well, he was proven guilty and made his jail, and then he freed on a technicality. Yeah? So, I mean, again, as I say, I care less whether Vibes Cartel come here or not. But at the same time, Trinidad don't need the negative publicity that's coming out of this, because that's all it's going to... And we already had a problem, a beef with Jamaica already. I just go to Jamaica often now, you know, people...
Well, they know helping selling out the show.
Boy.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Nice to see you all back on air, man.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Nice to have you back.
Put the number for the station by itself now, because sometimes you're trying to write it on the bottom thing running too fast.
Oh. Yeah, Richard is speed when he ready, you know. He speed out a maxi by McCoy already, you know.
I don't speed but that's what it is.
Everybody speeding now.
All right.
All right, let's stay strong.
Yeah, thanks very much.
What is Khadijah Ameen story now?
Caller, good morning to you.
Yeah, morning, morning.
Morning, Mr. Patrick.
You know, this whole issue of Vibes Cartel. When I listened to the reading yesterday, and I now listen on the news, very young lady reading the news.
Waiting on you to join the link, you know.
Yeah, when did you mic?
No, you're not.
Loud and clear. They're hearing loud and clear. And I'm
That's all hold on there, Mr. Patrick. Which I know.
Yeah. Somebody can read the mic. Go ahead, Mr. Patrick.
Yeah. Go ahead, Mr. Patrick.
Well, I listened to the news again this morning because I wanted to hear what the reporter say. Mr. Wayne says, because of his conviction and because he was released on a technicality and some other kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Richard Abuba saying Mr. Wayne is a criminal lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
You get me scared there, yes? You get me scared there, you know, Mr. Patrick?
Yes, he is.
So therefore, he must know about a technicality and things. Whatever you get released on, you release. You understand? So now they put a ban on the man because of that. But listen, I want to know if the man has any terrorist activities that he was involved in.
All right. Okay, Mr. Patrick, thanks much. Yeah.
So we just we just waited on Minister Ameen to join us. She thought it was by phone. That's what happened. She didn't realize she had to go to her email to check. So she was waiting on the call.
Was off there then?
Yeah.
It was off.
Yeah, she probably didn't check her emails to realize an email was sent.
No, what I'm saying, but no message sent to her. Anyhow.
No, I called her. I spoke. Well, I was apparently my mic was on when I was talking to her.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah, but that's my friend, you know. Always was and always will be, regardless of what.
But maybe as they go along, we may be able to get Mr. Sturge or somebody might be able to get a little to drill down a little more on the inside. You know, even though people may have been freed of certain crimes and stuff by courts and stuff, because of lifestyle, things that they may have been promoting. And I really not into his music like that. You know, I've heard about a lot of stuff, but I'm not deep into his music like that. So I'd really follow him. And people may just have that feeling.
Let me just give the poll results at this point, because I see Khadijah backstage.
Yes, she says she's in. Yeah.
All right, so let me just give the results. Our poll this morning, if I may bring it back up, is do you agree with the restrictions placed on Vibes Cartel? So that was our poll this morning. We had 46 people voting on the poll in the allotted time. And of the 46 people who voted on the poll this morning, 33 of you said no, you do not agree with the restrictions placed on Vibes Cartel. And 13 of you said yes. So the nays have it by a majority this morning. So the majority of the people voting this morning do not agree with the restrictions placed on Vibes Cartel. 13 of you said yes. So the nays have it. That's it for our poll this morning. And of course, in exactly 10 seconds, we are going to get into an interview with Ms. Khadijah Ameen, who, of course, is the Minister of Rural Development and Local Government.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Fidgeting.
I'm laughing.
Fidgeting.
No, we are chatting privately, so I have to laugh. She says she might not
Well,
be able to
that
put
is
on
all
her
right.
camera.
It's all right.
Morning, Minister Ameen. She says she
Good
might be able to
morning,
put
good
on her
morning. Of course, my favorite morning crew, Power Breakfast crew. Good morning.
No, we not the power, no power. We all breakfast alone. We only breakfast alone.
We just the breakfast crew now.
And I told Wendell I initially thought we were doing it via phone, but I realized that you all have a wonderful setup. So, but unfortunately, I'm not putting my camera on because I'm in the process of having breakfast and getting dressed to head out to our flood mitigation exercise, which was launched day before yesterday. Work started yesterday, and I'm visiting several corporations today where equipment is on the ground with the disaster units and the public health people who are attending to those water courses. So I thought it would be good to spare some time to spend with you this morning before I head out.
Well, you mightn't be doing flood mitigation this morning. You might actually be doing flood restoration, because the amount of rain that falls for the morning in some of the areas you're going in, it might actually be having flooding.
Well, when we have sudden rains, especially for a heavy rain in a short period, what we have often is street flooding. When we talk about some of the other major flooding, we will not have that with a short rainfall. However, having those water courses cleared in the flood-prone areas doesn't include only rural areas or earthen drains. There are many cities and boroughs and town centers that are affected by street flooding, so that the water courses, even along the eastern main road, the southern main road, and other roads that may not fall under the corporation, have been incorporated. Because yesterday at the post-cabinet meeting, you would have heard Ms. Jolene John, Minister of Works, speaking about her intense program as well. And that would include some of the highways and the main roads, as well as Minister of Agriculture, Ravi Ratiram, speaking on the agriculture areas. So we have, it is really a national drive, but with the local government, we have the clearing of water courses, but we also have boosting up our shelters in some of the most vulnerable areas.
Well, first, let's start the show the proper way. Let's congratulate you on, I think this is your third term as MP for St. Augustine, is it?
No, I was a councillor before. My first time as MP was in 2020.
Oh, okay. All right. So
Yes.
I got that wrong. So
Before that,
congratulations
I was
again.
a senator. So you would have seen me in Parliament from 2015 to 2020.
Right. And of course, you would have served as a councillor in Tunapuna Piapo and as chairman of the corporation. So congratulations once again on winning your seat. So and of course, you're now the minister in a ministry that you are very familiar with. How does it feel?
Well, I can tell you, somebody at our launch described it as attending a school, graduating, and then coming back as the principal. And I thought that was an interesting analysis. But for me, it is many of the stakeholders. I am very familiar with them, familiar with their work. We have a lot of volunteers who have been involved in preparing meals, in helping rescue people in flood-prone areas. So when it comes to the rescue part, the response, we have so many stakeholders who have been working, but we also have to focus on the prevention of the flooding, the mitigation, the reduction. I don't foresee that we could have zero floods, because I can tell you some of these water courses have been abandoned for so long that it will take more than 2 months to clear, all those years of neglect. The good thing is, because our UNC ministers in opposition have been on the ground, our political leader is now Prime Minister, we have all been out there in the flood. We have all an awareness of what is the root of the flooding in these basins, these flood-prone areas. And it is the same areas that flood every year. And solutions have been identified. There are technical studies in the Caroni River Basin, South Oropouche River Basin, Caparo Valley, Ottawa, North Oropouche in the Sandy Grande region, and other areas that identified the cause of flooding and identified specific projects such as retention walls, retention ponds, drainage works, and so on. And some of it also takes into consideration the impact of development, building, covering soil areas that would previously have acted as areas for seepage, foliage where you have a lot of trees and so on being removed. All those things have to be taken into consideration when we speak about flood mitigation. This program is an immediate intervention, and this is not the end of our flood mitigation attempt. So built up areas, as I mentioned, in Port of Spain, and for example, is a special case. So we will be working with the already available technical solutions. Some of them we can do in the short term, but some of them will take medium and long term projects, and some of them will take a while to properly implement. But I can give you the assurance, because we have been out there, we have been in the sun and rain and flood with citizens. I feel that we are in a better position to hit the ground running as we have.
Now, Minister Ameen, I know that there have been some changes in terms of the ministries and what comes under their portfolio. Give us a sense of what you have under your ministry as we speak now.
Well, the schedule which indicates which government agencies, state enterprises fall under various ministries. There's a draft schedule circulated. It has not been published yet. And I know that some persons would have called with concerns that CPEP, for instance, may not be under Ministry of Local Government. But I want to give you the assurance. Local government is the arm of government that is closest to people. And every government agency delivers on the ground in some form or fashion. And it is my objective to ensure that our local government reps and our NGOs and stakeholders are in a position to facilitate development reaching even to the smallest person, the smallest village, the most vulnerable areas. So that includes not just flood and drains and garbage collection, but also local economic development. Speaking about reviving our economy, what role do communities play in that? We have a role. Must have good access roads to get to tourist sites to look when we speak about local economic development. So a good road network is part of that. So there are a number of factors pertaining to national development that fall under local government, and it is my intention that we must be ready for that. I mean, when I say the public, so that whether it is the Ministry of Social Development with my good friend Vandana Mohit, or Ministry of Works, Ms. Jolene John, Agriculture, whatever ministry is delivering, they have our full cooperation and support as we go in with teamwork, with the objective being people-centered.
No, before I bring in Richard, let me just get this out of the way before Richard comes in. You know, local government has been my pet peeve for years. I'm on record as saying local government reform is a hoax. I'm on record. It didn't go down too well with some of my colleagues, but I didn't care because it has always felt that way to me throughout the last 15, 20 years, right? That it's a hoax, right? And that's regardless of which government is in power. Now, this election campaign was devoid of any talk about local government reform. Of course, I remember 2010 to 2015, when the then UNC government gave councillors a personal assistant and an office and so on, right? So I've always publicly said that too, that at least something happened under UNC government. Nothing has happened since. Do you intend to fix that once and for all? As belly of local government.
Yeah, and add on to that, to what Wenda just said there, Ms. Ameen, the Minister Ameen, the issue of I know proportional representation was brought in to local government under the People's Partnership, and so Wenda, that's correct. There was some level of reform and stuff that happened. Is there a blueprint in this current administration to take those reforms further?
Minister Ameen?
Yes, you know what I have found is that local government reform had become a buzzword under the former administration, and Wendell is correct. There are so many aspects of local government that are administrative hindrances that do not need legislation to correct. And bringing a suite of legislation, as my former used to say, would not solve the problem if you do not empower regional corporations to be more autonomous. You cannot speak about making regional corporations more autonomous when you are not releasing funds for them to pay their contractors after they have finished work, when you are not providing them with chief officers such as engineers, accountants, corporate secretaries, and so on to give that professional support to the regional corporations. You cannot undermine corporations by starving them of resources and then expect them to perform and claim that legislative reform will fix it. I can tell you that in many regional corporations, there are simple ways to fix delivery, because our local government councillors on the ground, many of our, even the staff members, the daily paid workers, they are out there performing. They are finding innovative ways to serve their burgesses. And the truth is that the corporations, I feel, have suffered over the last few years. Under the People's Partnership government, we would have provided offices and secretaries for all councillors. And to me, that also brought governance closer to people, because I was a councillor prior to 2010. I always had a laptop and my boots in my car trunk, and you work from your car. So even, for instance, the idea of having tax breaks for vehicles for councillors also was implemented during the People's Partnership term, and for some reason it was discontinued. I will not speak on that until I have some more information, because that is a request that many traveling officers are saying, well, councillors are traveling officers too, So that is something that we will continue discussions with. But the bottom line is that local government reform is not a buzzword. Reform is change. And change doesn't always require legislation. So my intention is to work with every regional corporation and the ministry, and of course other ministries that play a role that impact our communities, that we can work hand in hand with.
Do you think the current system, where CEOs of various regional corporations and boroughs and cities don't necessarily reside in the space that they are the CEOs for those corporations are, is helpful because local government by itself deals with a lot with the local problems of the people who live there and what they experience day to day. But yet you have CEOs across the country that sometimes live in far off places, but they're the CEOs of a district. They're not connected to the district, but they got the job because of whatever the qualifications are. Do you think that's a problem, or you think that works fine?
Well, where they live is perhaps the least of the problem. Their capacity, their competence, their willingness is perhaps more to the front of my mind when I think of the suitability of a CEO, because you have an entire council elected from that community. Councillors are required by law to live within the municipality. Councillors are responsible for an electoral district and they are elected. And political parties play a role in selecting councillors and removing councillors if they feel that we need a new person. And our chairman of regional corporations, also there's a requirement for them to be from the region. The CEOs and public servants are usually rotated based on several factors, including their promotion and their qualification within the public service. So the public service is there to implement the lawful decisions of the council. And once a CEO is cooperative and willing, that happens. In fact, sometimes a council may have a brilliant idea because they are thinking about solving a problem for their burgesses out there. And it is the CEO's job to advise them also, and the chief officers, they are advisors to council. So you want to do a particular program out there, and they should advise you what is the best way to do it in keeping with the public service rules, the financial regulations, and all these things, so that you will have lawful decisions, not to object to programs and policies of the council. So it should be a cooperative, symbiotic relationship where council and administration work together to ensure that the community, the burgesses out there, have improvement. There are instances of poor working relationships between the public officers and the elected arm. But that in most cases, people make it work. So even if they live San Fernando, my permanent secretary lives in the South, and he's in Port of Spain and Maraval every day. So whatever part of the country you live in as a CEO, as a public servant, that doesn't prevent you from doing your work. And we do have some very dedicated public servants in the system.
Was there a handing over process from the last local government minister to you, Minister Ameen?
Well, again, the public service plays that role as a buffer, because the person who would brief us when we go to the ministry is the permanent secretary in every ministry. So I would have been met by the permanent secretary on my first day. He would have provided me with several documents, several files. He would have briefed me. We would have had a wonderful conversation. We have had several meetings. So the public service is there to protect the country when there is a change in government. And this is public administration 101.
Yeah. So, but what are some of the other things you would like to see improved in local government under your ministry?
One of the things I think that we have to do is to really repair years of neglect and abuse of the system itself. And the current legislation allows corporations to be very proactive, to take initiatives that may not necessarily be considered the traditional corporations rule. It is my view that we must come back to our core functions and ensure that we are delivering in a sturdy manner in our core areas. So, for instance, I will take municipal police as an example. Municipal police, their role would be to protect corporation assets, recreation facilities, markets, and so on, and to work in local communities with stakeholders, NGOs, youth groups that use those facilities. So you have a good rapport relationship with your vendors in the market, your sporting organizations who use the facility, and so on. And of course, there are laws that fall under the regional corporation, such as under the litter prevention, minor traffic issues, and so on. But the police, of course, they are precepted and empowered to charge people with anything. I, however, have reservation about the municipal police being involved in routine roadblocks, for instance, or going to do breathalyzer when there's a party in the area. I have my reservations about that because that is the mandate of TTPS. And if we do not have a full complement of municipal officers and our municipal police are not getting the opportunity to do what their core job is, then we are in no position to be stepping out in a major way. Of course, we continue to supplement TTPS, but I feel it's important to strengthen the force of the municipal police. So you will see more municipal police officers, and also to ensure that our core functions are covered. And this, I use the municipal police as an illustration for you this morning, but that applies to several areas where regional corporations.
Hello? I think she may have just dropped off the internet. Hello?
No, still seeing her. But
Okay.
I'm still seeing her there.
She may have touched her mic by accident.
Yeah, maybe your mic is off or muted, Minister Ameen, so you could check.
Yeah, she may have muted her mic in error. All right, so we are. I mean, if she's listening, I want to make a personal plug for the municipal police in the city, because they are existing under extreme circumstances in that police station in the city, and they were about to, I think, acquire a building. So I hope that this minister can follow up on it. I will certainly message her on it after. That's for the city police in Port of Spain. All right, is she back?
She's still there. She hasn't left.
Mm-hmm. Let me see if she's messaging.
The connection is still there, but we're just not hearing it at this point. So Minister Ameen obviously is having some technical difficulties at this point. But of course, we are speaking with the Honourable Khadijah Ameen, Minister of Rural Development and Local Government in the current administration. Of course, that whole issue of autonomy for local government bodies, which connects to the buzzword, as she describes it, local government reform, is an important part. How much autonomy is this government willing to give local government bodies in terms of dealing with their respective districts? You always get the sense that governments generally don't like to relinquish too much control to local government bodies. So oftentimes you have standoff between MPs and mayors in places where there are mayors. Sometimes you have a standoff where the MP and the mayor just don't get along.
Yes.
She's back.
All right, you're back. So,
yes, and I mentioned earlier that local government is not just road and box trains, it's people, and it's not only the people out there, but the people who work together. So we have to. There are instances where people don't have good working relationships, but the job must get done.
Absolutely.
So we have to bypass those things. Wendell spoke about municipal police officers in Port of Spain who work under some very concerning conditions, their accommodation, and this is not unique to Port of Spain, unfortunately. So because I have been shadowing local government, I came from local government, I'm aware of the situations, and in fact, on the very first day as minister, one of my conversations was with the head of the municipal police for the entire country to raise some of those concerns, because you have the conditions that the police officers work in terms of their accommodation is not always satisfactory and suitable for work. They work with special equipment in terms of communication equipment, guns, ammunition. They must have proper storage for these things. Some of them have not been provided with adequate bulletproof vests and so on. They cannot work in a regular office space because they have to have proper storage for some of these things. They also work on a shift system. So I mentioned that my objective is to return us to our core functions, And just as with the municipal police, it also applies to other areas. So regional corporations, in my views, should not be, as mandated under the previous government, sent to fix schools in their area until you have the capacity to deal with all the facilities that are your responsibilities by law, which include our recreation facilities, cemeteries, the actual buildings that they occupy. And it cannot be that a regional corporation works section who cannot fix their own toilet are being sent to fix toilets in schools when this is the responsibility of the Ministry of Education. And I can tell you, yesterday at the post-cabinet meeting, the minister announced a July-August vacation repair program for schools, several schools throughout Trinidad and Tobago. And once these ministries are more functional, the regional corporations can return to their core function but still provide support where needed. But they should not be mandated to fix schools, for instance. So I use the police and the WS section as examples, as illustrations. But I do believe that regional corporations have been stretched and pulled so far and so thin. And if we return to our what we are supposed to do by law, and strengthen our capacity for that, we will be in a better position to facilitate every ministry that will be delivering in our communities. Whether it is we have a role to play in job creation, in boosting the economy, in making communities safer, and so on, which would normally be considered as central government functions. But we have to make it happen in the communities.
Minister Ameen, is there any chance, because I know it happened in 2010, and it might have been because there was not a local election for 7 years back then, is there any chance of a snap local government election coming? Because nothing stops the government from doing that.
Yes, well, we have always said...
Yes, there will be a snap election. Is that what you're saying?
No. Don't try to put words in my mouth this morning, Wendell. I want to be very clear. The United National Congress has always had the position that elections should be held on time and democracy must be protected. Elections should be held on time. When Kamla Persad became Prime Minister in 2010, no local government election had been held for 7 years.
Correct.
And so a snap election was warranted at that time. And our position continues to be that elections will be held on time.
Right. Okay. Minister Ameen, I know you have to go. And I know we have to go. I know you have to go. And so we're about to close off the interview. I just wanted to talk about the issue of recycling. And because I know there are many households across the country that do recycle and have several bins and plastics, and you have to search for solid waste management bin that specifically caters to recycling. Sometimes you have to drive a little distance to get it done. I don't know how you feel about recycling, and is there a vision to make it more accessible in terms of how recycling is done across the country in light of climate change?
I think she's dropping off every now and then.
Yes, I am hearing you.
Yeah.
You were talking about
recycling, Richard.
Recycling.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, this morning I am meeting with the minister in the Ministry of Public Utilities, Ms. Shivana Sam, concerning swim call and the relationship with the regional corporation. So you will hear more about that. But we have always been, you could recall in the previous government, there was a Ministry of the Environment. And environmental sustainability should be a part of what we all do. And so I will be following our meeting with it would not be with SwimCall only, with several other agencies. Our position does not have to take the form of a single initiative. It must be a way of operating that we have environmentally sustainable solutions.
Yeah, and I hope it includes the reform of garbage dumps, But because certainly the main garbage dump in Arima is now a man-made mountain, rivaling the Northern Range. So it needs those issues of how we deal with garbage in a responsible, modern way needs to be addressed.
Certainly. What I can tell you as well is that there are many people who have come forward with solutions and suggestions in terms of methods of garbage disposal and waste management to that are more sustainable and better for the environment. There have been numerous attempts over the past few years to have waste management and recycling and so on incorporated. Now, I recognize personally, I can tell you that I recognize that this will take a lot of cultural change in terms of how we treat with garbage and how we treat with waste on a whole. And it takes years in some countries, in developed countries, to get to that system where you don't throw out everything, where you have that mindfulness and that propensity to recycle and to separate and to reuse. We have fallen into that culture because previously you would carry a glass bottle to get your bottle of milk. Now we have things coming in cartoons, and we have that has happened to us over decades. And so I don't expect that overnight we could reverse those things. So that is something that requires a comprehensive approach. As I indicated, I will be meeting with Minister Shivana Sam this morning, specifically concerning swim call and the relationship with the Ministry of Local Government and our regional corporations where waste management is concerned.
All right. Well, thank you, Minister Ameen, for speaking with us this morning. We appreciate you taking the time to speak with us. And I'm sure we're going to have you back on to discuss, as progress will take place in your respective ministry.
Oh, certainly. In fact, let me tell you one time. Today, I am visiting Sandy Grande and Tunapuna region with the flood mitigation. On Tuesday, I am visiting Couva, Separia, and Penal Debe with flood mitigation. On Wednesday, I am joining the PSA and their president, Ms. Felicia Thomas, as we are visiting the municipal police in all regions, and we are starting in Diego Martin region on Wednesday morning with the municipal police officers.
All right, great.
Yes. So thank you guys for having me.
Yeah,
Minister Mahi. Minister Ameen, I'll be very disappointed if you fail at this ministry, because you have enough experience and enough knowledge about how to fix this local government system once and for all. So I'll be on your case.
Oh, good.
That's
scary. That's scary. All right, thank you, Minister Ameen.
Richard, is Miss Ameen out?
She is.
All right.
Yeah, she is.
So, and you had a surprise guest you wanted to bring in for a couple of minutes, Richard?
Well, I've not seen them backstage as I would have just now.
Where they gone? I know that person would have liked to be on when Miss Ameen was on.
But I didn't see them come on at all. So,
all right.
So yeah, we are about 2 minutes away from 8 a.m. I don't know if we wanted to take some calls. Wait, somebody just came in. Oh my God.
Where them? We have a surprise guest for you people. Where them? Where them?
They're right here.
Well, they don't know how to get in our studio by now.
Yeah, your devices are not connected. I have to speak slowly. They're a little older. Your devices are not connected.
CONNECTED.
So I can't bring you in because your devices are not connected. I am seeing you.
What? That's what you had to do.
But I can't bring them in because their camera and their mics, the system is not reading that any is connected. So it's not allowing me to bring them in. So they have to connect at least one for the system to recognize that you could be heard or seen.
But that person's supposed to know what to do by now. You would think it.
I wonder if
They're in this business about 40 years now.
Oh my God. So devices.
So let's do 8 o'clock news and then wait and see.
Yeah, but we'll have to go to 8 o'clock news. But
you can fix it between the 8 o'clock news.
Try and fix your issues. Devices are not connected. Okay, I think they would have gotten that. All right. So let me just go. We'll go to our 8 o'clock news. We'll be right back to wrap up.
The news you need, the clarity you deserve. Local, regional, global. This is Net Radio News Now.
This is your news update for Friday, May 16th, 2025. I am Amanda Mitchell with New Era TT Radio and M&E TV. Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar has confirmed May 23rd as the official date for opening the upcoming parliamentary term. The date will mark the commencement of legislative activities following the April 28th general election, providing the administration sufficient time to finalize cabinet appointments and outline its legislative agenda. Recently, the Office of the President released the Gazette notice outlining the schedule of duties for respective government ministers. Defence Minister Wayne Sturge has ordered significant cuts to the itinerary of Jamaican dancehall artist Vibes Cartel, who is scheduled to arrive in Trinidad on May 26th for his May 31st concert. Sturge has prohibited the artist from 2 media interviews and several planned events, including a morning radio interview, a midday TV appearance, a local press drop-in, a meet and greet, a school or youth centre visit, and a cultural lunch with community leaders. Sturge confirmed the adjustments, citing concerns about Palmer's past legal troubles and his potential interaction with the country's vulnerable youths, particularly as his conviction was not based on merit, but on a legal technicality. The Dean of the Faculty of Food and Agriculture at the University of the West Indies in Trinidad, Professor Mark Woodivira, is urging Agriculture Minister Ravi Ratiram to push agri-tourism as a viable economic driver for Trinidad and Tobago. Woodivira, a professor of agri-environmental soil physics, believes agri-tourism can boost both food security and tourism if supported through science, technology, and partnerships. He's calling for agricultural parks to showcase indigenous crops and wildlife, which could attract visitors and spur exports. We want to see a closer collaboration between the Faculty of Food and Agriculture and the Ministry of Agriculture, the professor said, emphasizing the need for evidence-based approaches. Former Minister of National Service and Youth Development Foster Cummings claims the United National Congress government plans to close down every youth program, responding to statements by Sport and Youth Affairs Minister Philip Watts about an audit into the hiring of contract workers. Cummings told the media, "They will close down every youth program. This is just their way of trying to tarnish the program so they can have an excuse to close it down." Defending his hiring of individuals on short-term contracts, Cummings said, "It was a new ministry and we needed to get the work done." Media Ambassador for the Police Service, ASP Owe Russell, says the TTPS has received a new batch of body cameras that will be used by officers to ensure accurate recording of incidents involving police and members of the public. The Commissioner has procured additional body-worn cameras that are more appropriate for the rigours of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, Russell said. "We hope to deploy 1,000 additional body-worn cameras to build that trust and confidence." He noted that the cameras would also influence public behaviour during police interactions as citizens would recognize that their behavior is also being filmed. The Water and Sewerage Authority has reported that several surface water treatment facilities in the northeast region are currently out of operation due to heavy overnight rainfall. Adverse weather conditions have caused riverine flooding, high turbidity, clogged intake screens, and siltation, disrupting normal operations at facilities including Matura, Aripo, Tompire, Guanapo, Quere, and North Orapuch. Affected areas include parts of Arima, Malabar, Wallafield, Santa Rosa, Pinto Road, Toco, Valencia, Maloney, Sangre Grande, and Manzanilla. WASA stated it is actively working to restore operations, and every effort is being made to return these facilities to service at the earliest possible time. You are listening to News on New Era TT Radio. In regional news, Barbados Prime Minister Mia Mottley has called on Barbadians to confront their colonial past and shape a new future as the 400th anniversary of the landing of the first British ship passed largely unnoticed. On May 14th, 1625, the English merchant ship owned by William Courtine arrived, marking the start of colonization. In her message, Mottley urged citizens to stand strong, honor the past, and actively reclaim the destiny once denied to their ancestors. She acknowledged the painful legacy of slavery that followed, describing it as one of the darkest chapters in our nation's history. Mottley highlighted initiatives such as the digitization of archival records and the establishment of the Barbados Heritage District at Newton as tangible steps towards reclaiming agency lost through centuries of colonialism. In international news, U.S. President Donald Trump took his bid to end birthright citizenship to the U.S. Supreme Court yesterday. The case asks whether lower court judges should be able to block presidential orders nationwide, as they have done with Trump's executive order. U.S. Solicitor General D. John Sauer argued that the current system required judges to make rushed, high-stakes, low-information decisions, while New Jersey Solicitor General Jeremy Feigenbaum warned that siding with Trump would create chaos on the ground with a patchwork system of citizenship. Many legal experts say the president does not have the power to end birthright citizenship because it is guaranteed by the 14th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. A large group of protesters gathered outside the court, with former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi joining them to read from the Constitution, saying, "This is about birthright, it's about citizenship, it's about due process." That concludes your news update for today. I'm Amanda Mitchell for New Era TT Radio and M&E TV. The Breakfast Show with Wendell, Richard, and Sir Charles continues right after this short break.
That was news now. Stay informed with New Era TT Radio. Net Radio.
Port of Spain, we are finally here. RSRR Productions, Married and Mischievous, finally comes to Port of Spain at Queen's Hall for 2 nights only on Saturday the 24th of May, 8:30 p.m. and Sunday the 25th at 6:30 p.m. Come see the play that everybody's talking about, strictly for adults only. The Scandalous, Married and Mischievous at Queen's Hall. Tickets available at all our usual outlets and at the Queen's Hall box office. This is not just a play, it's an experience. Don't miss it.
S&H Rumbox, 137 Western Main Road, St. James, for all your retail and wholesale needs for alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages. Call us at 686-0599 or visit us at 137 Western Main Road, St. James. S&H Rumbox, drinking out of the box.
Great news, Caribbean. The Breakfast Show is now on M&E TV, bringing you entertaining conversations, vital information, and influential perspectives throughout Trinidad and Tobago and across the Caribbean region. Catch us on Digicel Channel 20, Flow Channel 111, Amplia Channel 117, Blink Channel 109, Tricode Channel 154, and Airlink Channel 10. The Breakfast Show connects with the Caribbean and Trinidad and Tobago like never before. We're now on M&E TV. Advertise with us on New Era TT Radio, the fastest growing streaming platform for talk in Trinidad and Tobago. Audio and video ads welcome. Elevate your brand with us. Connect with us at newerattradio@yahoo.com or call us at 299-5156. Now what are you waiting for?
All right, so we are back on the breakfast show this morning. Yes.
You know something that the Prime Minister said yesterday that we didn't pick up on this morning, but maybe we could look at it next week, is that hangings are to resume. Did you hear that? He announced that in the postcard.
I told you earlier today, if you were listening, that I didn't watch the postcard. But I did. I hear that in the news that there was nobody that could be executed at this point. But you know my position on that. I think the death penalty has no place on the books of Trinidad and Tobago or in the English-speaking Caribbean. I think it should be abolished across the Caribbean. The death penalty has no place in a civilized country. That's my take. That's my position. But you know that's my position for years.
Yes. And that's why I thought that you might have picked up on it right away.
No, I didn't watch the postcard conference, but I did see something on news about it. But that would be my stance. Has always been my stance that I think it needs to be abolished. But we have a guest waiting on standby, so let's bring them in. Yeah. I am bringing you in now.
N-O-W. Where he is? Where he is? Where's all the palm trees
in Tobago?
Steve Camp,
I'm relaxing.
You're relaxing.
Morning, Richard. Morning, everyone.
But
what's happening?
We don't have everyone here. We have Wendell and Sir Charles with Richard. We have nobody named everyone.
But you're saying everyone to all of the listeners, the viewers.
Morning, Steve. How are you doing?
Morning, Charlie. What's happening?
We good.
Charlie, you can put on your mic, your camera.
Boy, everybody trying to get Charles to put on his camera. He's not. He ain't gonna do it for you either.
No. It's going to remain as is. So how are you, Steve?
Not bad. How you guys going? I still didn't get to see you play yet.
Oh, but it's on next week, Saturday and Sunday at Queen's Hall in Puerto de España, in Port of Spain. So it's next week, Saturday and Sunday. We are on Saturday at 8:30, Sunday at 6:30. You know, that's a cue for me to advertise the play again, Steve.
I know, Steve, you trigger him.
Steve, the other fella, Richard actually cast one of the people after you. I think it's Craig, is his name? Kern?
Greg.
Greg is cast after you, so you should go and see it.
No, I wanted to go on the Saturday, but time was against
I'm Carl. You're Greg.
No. Hey.
Yeah, but
and Richard is Phil.
In the play. We're supposed to be in the play.
I don't want to always have
How you guys doing?
We are good.
We're
good. You know, things are good with you.
Your Jeep in your office, Wendell?
Sorry?
You park your Jeep in the office?
No, I take a picture of my spare wheel. I take a picture of my spare wheel and I use it as because that's what I end the program with now. One life, live it. I don't say let go and let God anymore. God can't help this place again. So I'm saying one life, live it.
For years you say let go and let go.
Yeah. For years he has been. So he changed it to one life, live it now.
Yes.
Okay, I think I lost you all for a 5.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
You're inside Abercrombie Street. That must be why. Internet always had problems.
Yeah, well, nothing had changed. The internet is the same. Oh boy.
Always problematic.
You guys doing good. I see you guys doing a great job.
Thanks a lot, Steve.
And Charlie was every
now and then.
Yeah, we're picking up. So they need to fix your internet. But
Put data in the building.
Oh, God. And just because we can. And just because we can.
It's for all of you who hating on me and telling me I have to get out of here ever since my carnival incident. Let me tell you something now. I'm not leaving the country. And no, you can't make me. I am a real tranny, cause that's how my mama made me. Every time you see me in the grocery, you wanna pick cause you recognize me. Shit talking in the comments crazy. I know you hating, but I'm still too sexy. I'm not going nowhere. No, I'm staying here. Cause I'm curvy and I wear a two-piece and I'm sweet and all the Trini men love me. So I'm not leaving the country. And no, you can't make me. I am a real Trini, cause that's how my mama made me. My name is Gabby Faye. I eat anything every day.
We don't need vibes cartel when we have Gabby.
I'm still a hot gal outside blinging. TNT is just too sweet. TNT is where I wanna be. And the double stand of a rocket speech. The internet thinks they can bully me, but they can't. I have self-esteem. My self-confidence is high key. You can catch me at Times Square and Nike. And the truth is, you just wanna be like me. So I'm not leaving the country. And no, you can't make me. I am a real tranny, cause that's how my mama made me.
I never saw that. I haven't seen that one yet.
That's new. That's brand new.
We give Gabby Faye true prominence on the show this morning. Girls, you live your life and don't worry if any haters out there. Exactly. That's a good message to everybody. Live your life. One life, live it.
Oh, yes. For sure.
So, Steve, thanks so much for joining us for a minute or two on the breakfast show this morning. But this is where we wrap it up on the breakfast show because we will be booted off M&E TV if we don't. So
we're already off.
We already get
booted.
2:15 on the dot, you know.
Yeah, bam,
joke.
Yeah, so have a fantastic weekend, people.
Guys.
Yeah, it was nice.
I saw you all.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
True. Well, you all are always welcome by Rumbox, you know. I keep telling you all that. Just come down. I'm there, but most Fridays. Just come by Rumbox.
Well, just send a message on the group that you're there and I'll come.
Yeah, no, when I start telling it now publicly, and anybody who listen, but people, the other people that come with money, but for two only out there, you have beer each, and Sir Charles.
Beer? One beer?
A beer or two, you never know.
Go somewhere we can get 2 beers. Morning far up the way, how you going? I can do it in doubles.
All right, this is where we wrap it up on the breakfast show on this Friday morning. We'll speak to you bright and early on Monday, where we'll have a slew of guests for next week. We already have one book for Monday, but I'm not going to tell you who it is. But
wait, Richard, wait. Steve, you know how to send in the application because I don't know what happened after today, you know. You know what to say?
Good, man. I'm good. I'm busy like tail here.
All right. But thanks a lot, Steve, for joining me. But this is where we wrap it up. Have a fantastic weekend.
Have a good one, guys.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, and remember to smile and laugh. It's great for your health. Over to you, Wendell.
All right, folks, have an absolutely wonderful weekend. Be careful on the nation's road. Look out for the young ones. And remember, one life. Live it.
And of course, this has been The Breakfast Show.
Yeah. Wake up, it's a brand new dawn. The Breakfast Show got the vibes turned on.